Here we go. All right, so Allie has joined us. This is Allie. Allie, say hello.
Hi. Oh, wait. I'm not looking at the camera.
Yeah, look up at the camera. Don't look down here.
Oh, yeah.
And
I just realized.
I should know better
now
by
we've
now.
spoken of Allie before on the podcast. This is the person that I mentioned that these two would never meet each other and didn't meet each other for quite some time. And then they did.
Even though, we were in the same room for a couple hours a day.
That a little closer.
The test, it was right here, bro, and it was good.
Oh, yeah?
So
Yeah.
Okay.
it better be good.
We did test a lot of times to get this going.
We've been
I
here for
also
a
have
minute.
a wired mic this time, which is different, but we only have 2 of those kind. So yeah.
Unfortunate. Okay, let's kick things off with
Okay.
juice sampling.
Oh yes, Esther's
these are
elixirs is
mine.
what we're calling it. Let's see if I can get this to. Oh look, it did focus.
Nice.
Oh,
Esther,
wait.
I got
These
a green
are
one.
my
don't even
wellness
know.
shots.
Wellness shots. So
Yes.
Esther, what's in this one?
Okay, that's a new one that I haven't made yet. I mean, I haven't made
Whoa!
yet.
You didn't make it yet.
I haven't made before.
Sorry if this mic is like clipping and stuff. I'm gonna try.
So it's got. Wait, try it and see if you can
Give it
guess a
shot.
couple
Okay,
things. That
I'm
are
gonna
in
try
it.
to do a little ASMR. I'm gonna turn this mic up.
Oh boy,
Okay, the mic's all the way up.
That's
delightful.
Let me turn it back down. Whoa! I told Esther to make these more powerful. Let me tell you something. Jeez.
Yes. Okay.
I
Let me
feel
try
like-
it.
What's in it?
Let me try. Open this one, and you can try that one
Okay.
too. Okay. So do you
So am I
have
supposed to
any
guess? I mean, lime,
flavors? Notes.
ginger. Let's see what else. Lime, ginger. I feel like green apple, but I know you don't have green apples, so you don't have green
Whoa.
apples. So yeah, that one's crazy. That's a
Sorry.
wellness shot for sure.
The recipe called for green apples, actually. So you're killing it.
Well, it's
But
green. I mean, that's not
But
really
they're regular apples, which
regular apples. The way you said that.
apples.
Regular
I didn't hear
apples.
that, but I wasn't gonna call her out.
No, please do, please do. Okay, go.
Tragic.
Make sure you
Okay.
get the ASMR.
Nah.
That one's so orange.
Okay, Esther's got. You're not drinking that, right, bro?
That was a little weird.
Yeah.
I went over the whole top.
That's ridiculous.
So
Are you
it didn't-
afraid to get
It didn't
it
come
still?
out. I was trying to not get on
how
my
do you
lip
drink
gloss.
it properly?
Well, I do it to where there's air also getting in, so my mouth's just kind of open.
Okay, and you just like pour it in. I'm so scared. I'm just gonna.
That
drop
one's
it.
crazy. That
Hold
one's
on.
good.
Ooh,
Yeah, don't drop the mic.
pretty good. Give it a
Is that
try.
one
Those are both pretty strong.
good? Very good.
I'm nervous.
I need to drink more of that, actually.
That one's fire. The ginger and the what's that? Ginger and what's the 2? Like
Oh
root.
my gosh, I can smell it.
Turmeric.
We're gonna smell
Turmeric,
this one.
root.
Okay, get after it. You gotta just knock it back. Not the whole. You don't have to do the whole thing if you
No,
don't
no,
want to.
no, no.
Just
No, no,
don't,
no.
don't,
Just don't
fully
stop while
close
you're
around it,
yeah.
otherwise it doesn't come out.
There you go.
Hence
There you
my
go.
issue.
Okay, how's that?
It's
She's thinking
That
about
one's
it.
a little more tame than ours.
Yeah.
yeah, it just tastes like orange juice with ginger.
Good. That's pretty much what I was saying.
Period.
Do you want to try these
love
really
to-
strong ones?
No.
Okay, okay. That was a quick no.
Respectfully, no, thank you.
Okay.
So, anyways, the
Esther's
green one. Let
elixirs.
me give you the run through.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Was it gone? Thing.
It's gone.
I just took a sip, bro.
What do you? Oh, do you?
Take some more, bro.
You gotta
That's
get
fine.
those health benefits,
I like it.
baby.
I like it a lot. It's very good. There you
So
go.
the green one, celery. You got lime and apple,
Oh. Celery, I didn't expect.
parsley,
Parsley. Here.
ginger. That one
Ginger.
did not have the turmeric root, just the ginger.
The green one?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I think that's it.
okay.
I'm probably missing something because I had a lot of stuff out. Then the orange
I'm
one
not
that I
comfortable on this
had
couch yet.
had carrots,
Okay,
turmeric root, ginger root.
nice.
That one I went back to adding some of the powders.
gosh.
So I also did the powdered turmeric and powdered
You have powdered turmeric?
because before I realized that the root was right there next to ginger in Safeway.
Yeah, I guess I've never
I got
purchased
the
that.
powdered version because that was the first recipe that I saw.
Okay.
So anyways, I added that in too, which is why it's so strong. And then I did what is it? Cayenne?
Cayenne pepper?
Yeah, that in powder form.
That's
And
normally in powder form.
orange and
Allie's prepped with the mic, but you haven't let her say anything.
lime, I
Oh
think.
no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no. I don't. I don't need to talk right now.
You don't want to talk? You want to let her finish
Well,
the...
I mean, I didn't make the drink.
Okay,
so
that's true. You want to let her finish
why
the
am I
spiel?
talking?
Well, I don't know. Just so we all work together technically.
Technically.
We love
Let's see. They work in like a
We
different.
love working together.
They,
Yeah.
they work in like a different department. And
Our department's more fun.
well, my department is me.
Yeah, that's why ours is more fun.
Dang. Well, I guess there is technically like an arts department, but the piece of
Or a what's it called?
creative
elective department.
Yeah.
that's
You
true.
know what?
All
You
the
would call it
elective
that. You would
teachers
call
would
it
band
that. You would.
together.
We just don't hang out like we do.
No,
Yeah.
it's not that. No, I would say that we. I mean, I've been working there for 10 years, so
But I mean,
wouldn't
like, you
say
don't
that.
Run into the other elective teachers because you're all at
Not
separate
as
locations.
often,
We
no,
work
but
in
also the
same
band elective.
areas.
We started it. That was one of the earlier on kind of electives, or at least it's the longest standing one now. Not that there weren't any when I was there originally, but they just continue. So you guys worked together for a while without actually even really meeting each other. So
Yes.
Allie, go ahead and tell us a little bit about this.
met
What do
each
you
other.
mean? Okay, no, I honestly didn't meet a lot of people when I first started working.
That's crazy.
So with Esther, I don't think I knew her name for like the first.
How long do you think?
I would say like
That's
at least.
crazy.
No. Maybe like the first couple of weeks of me working
Couple
there.
weeks. And
Yeah.
they do. It's a pretty tight knit. Like there's a room. Like they definitely were seeing each other and talking to each other multiple times without having known each
She
other's
actually
name.
had like a different job though than she does now, because she was mostly during summer when I started working there. She was at desk,
Yeah.
and so she
Oh.
was
I love
never
these things. That makes
outside
sense.
with me
That makes a
whenever
lot of
I was
sense.
like watching the kids.
So you weren't as much together as you are now.
No. Yeah.
That is good that you mentioned that because I forgot that is you started in summer.
Yeah.
And usually I was one of the people that would like train the new people, not really train, but they'd like shadow me while I worked.
I
So
see.
I was like, didn't do that with her. That's weird because I did it for a lot of the other new people.
I guess I didn't.
But
No, I
that
guess
makes a
I
lot of sense that I was at desk, and that's why I
Yeah.
didn't see
talk
each
to her
other
as much either.
So Esther, there's a funny story that people. It's not. I don't know if it's about a story. It's kind of like a personality test type thing. And they're like, if you met yourself,
Oh yeah.
would you? What would the interaction
this
be
is-
like? And Esther and I always laugh because I'd be like, oh yeah, we'd be best friends. We'd start companies together and stuff. And then I said Esther wouldn't ever meet herself. They would just kind of stand at the opposite ends of the room. And I think Allie might find herself in the same.
I think Esther
group.
is the other person in the room.
So what do
We
you think,
just didn't
Allie?
talk
If you
to
met
each other.
yourself,
We
Esther,
basically
If I met
ourselves when we
myself-
met each other.
It depends.
You're in the same room. You have an option of meeting each other.
It
Would you
would
not?
take a minute
Dang,
for us
okay.
to talk, I think, and
Okay.
interact. Just because, like, knowing myself with new people, I'm like, oh my god, should I say something? And then I'm just in my head. So we'd both
Yeah.
be in our head saying like, someone
What
should
is it?
really say
She's just in
something
her
right
world.
now.
She's in her own world.
She's in her own
Here's the
world.
thing. It depends on setting for me.
Yeah.
If it's like a group thing, you best believe I ain't talking to nobody except who I know.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
like, I'm pretty better with like new people at
Pretty
work.
better?
Pretty better.
Pretty better.
Well, it's funny
Gooder
because I have
with new people at
found.
work because we're in a small
Yeah.
environment and it's only a couple of us, and I'm like, let me try and not seem like I
I
hate
have
this
found
person
myself more and more not interacting with people as much in groups when I used to probably more. I find myself more and more not. But so Allie, you think it would take you a minute to meet yourself, but
Yeah.
then what would once you do meet yourself?
Yeah.
What's the length of time it takes to get comfortable? What are you guys doing?
I just start asking questions, and then
Small talk
but,
or
like,
a little deeper than that?
I don't know, bro. I analyze like my process.
That's
of
what we
how to
do a
meet
lot
new
on this
people.
podcast is just kind of like analyze everything, overanalyze
Yes.
everything.
I would say like
Self-analysis
at
is
first,
important.
like maybe be like a small talk, like icebreaker
Okay.
question, you know, and then like for example, like with work, I'd be like, oh, like is this like your first job or something like that,
Okay.
or like
Any
just keep-
personal questions, age, anything like that, or you're keeping that?
age. I don't think I ask about
Okay.
age a
I need to
lot,
move
which
the
is
light a
probably
little bit.
why I
Keep talking.
never know how old anybody ever is.
I feel like it's not generally a question people ask right off the bat, but I
Yeah.
always like have a guess right off the bat, and I always want to know, but I don't want to.
You're so bad at guessing ages, though.
I'm pretty bad.
Yeah, because she thinks like someone is either like
call
way
out, the call out.
older than they
I understand
are or way younger, and it's
If
Okay.
somebody's
Yeah.
youngish and they are like kind of in a similar life zone as me, I just assume they're the exact same age as me always. And then it turns out half
true.
of them are like
I think you
quite a
thought
few
that
years
we were
younger.
closer in age.
Exactly.
Than we
with
were.
every
Wait, but you
person.
guys are
with
pretty
every
close in
person
age.
that we
No, we
hired
are.
to our
You're-
department, I'm like, they're 25, baby.
Okay, because you're
That's how old
25
I
and you
am.
just turned 22.
Yes.
Okay, so you're a couple years younger.
Yeah.
Funny enough, we talked about doing this podcast when she turned 22, because you made a funny comment that stood out to me, because you were talking about your birthday and you said, I'm going to go home, lay in my bed with like a comfy blanket or something and just cry or something. That's pretty much, is that true? Okay. So I found that quite intriguing and I asked her about it. And so I'll ask you again for the podcast. Why was that your feeling for that birthday?
Because I literally hate my birthday.
Wait, but that's so weird. Why?
It's because it's hard to explain. I mean, I kind of explained it a little bit to Esther indirectly. We were in a small group and I just kind of like said a little snippet. I think it's just like I've had like really good birthdays growing up, and then at some point along the line, I think when you get older, like people just stop showing up. And so that
in general or to the birthday?
Just like
people stop showing up for you, or they stop showing up to your party?
I would say like it's like I always create like a strong like attachment to people, and then like I think we're closer than we actually are, and then when it comes down to it, like on special days when I think like they should be there for me, like they usually are not.
Usually are not. You feel like this has happened to you multiple times?
We don't like that.
We don't have to name names, but
No. You know what I mean?
I mean, we can. No, I'm just kidding.
We just want to talk to them. We just want to talk.
We can just call them.
Yeah.
We'll call them right now
No,
on the pod.
thank you.
Hello? Allie said you didn't show up for her.
throw hands.
I've had my fair share of interesting friendships.
No, that's
down the
fair.
line.
That's fair. But then I guess that the follow-up question, or at least the thing that comes to mind, is do you feel like you have had or have currently a lot of friendships?
No. It's definitely like a have. Like, oh, no, I had. Sorry, I said the wrong
No, that's
tense.
fine. You had a lot of friends. You feel like you have a smaller group of friends now.
Yes.
Are you cool with that? Do you wish that was different? Are you glad about that?
Oh, I'm definitely glad about that.
Okay.
I feel like I do better with like
A tight-knit group.
a tight-knit group because it just feels more personal. I feel like once your group gets too big, like you honestly do have to pick and choose like who you're going to feed into, but you don't want to hurt
Someone's feelings
by being like, oh, like, you know, it's just a casual like hangout or like acquaintance thing. And then they end up thinking that it's like, oh my gosh, we're like best friends, but you're not my best friend. So
Interesting.
You're best friend.
Now, do you tell them that to their face? Like personal questions. Do you tell them you're not my best friend?
No, because literally,
You know what? I hate when people when people have best friends, because I feel like that's so disrespectful to literally all your other friends.
Yeah.
It's hard to...
But it could just be because I've never had a best friend.
So there it is.
No, but therein lies...
It feels offensive, and it also feels offensive at like weddings when there's like the maid of honor and then the other people. I'm
It's
like,
better. It's
how about we all just are your friends?
It's
and
better
you like
to
us
not
all
have one.
equally.
At Esther and my wedding, we had no groomsmen or bridesmaids.
We actually had one each. They weren't like official and they weren't a part of the wedding, but in our minds, that's what they were.
In your
Not
mind.
to me, definitely not, because I just said we didn't.
My mind.
I do know who I do know.
Picked out two people in her mind.
I do know who Esther's talking about,
No,
but they definitely weren't called.
The girl
that.
definitely knew. And
The girl knew
said that she was my maid of honor, and I was like, absolutely.
No, absolutely, that's so funny.
And then the guy is who she was dating and was a friend, and so it just
which
made
is
sense.
totally
But
chill.
there was no party. They didn't do any thing for the wedding. I mean,
And this was
they
no-
helped for the wedding, but
Correct.
they didn't like have
This
a
was no
role.
diss towards them when I mentioned that, by the way. All I'm saying is, first of all, our wedding was planned in 2 weeks. And second of all, like 50 people were there. So
Dang, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that it was 2 weeks. I thought it would have at least
Even
been
less
like
or more?
No, it
no
ended
more.
up being,
Definitely
Well,
more.
okay, cool story
it
then.
ended up being a little bit longer
Barely.
because then our pastor couldn't do the dates that we.
That's true.
We kept offering dates and he couldn't.
We
do because
tried
it was
to do it
last
literally
minute. He
so
had,
last minute.
You know, his life planned out like we did not.
I wouldn't say
So
that we
Clearly,
did
because
it.
that 2 weeks.
So I think it ended up being like a
Basically,
month,
what happened, I
but
feel
we
like
didn't start like organizing the event until we had the date set. So honestly, the prep
feel
was
like
2 weeks.
Okay.
I feel like you. I don't know how much of the story you do or do not know, Alex. So I guess I'll take it. It's funny. So we were looking around at houses,
Yeah.
and then found this house that we're in currently.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh,
My home.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'll tell you how she even showed up here for the podcast. It's kind of funny and kind of shows what our friendship was like. But I was like, oh, this house is kind of cool. Maybe I'll try to get it. And then in like 21 days, we got it. It was a fast track.
Oh dang.
And it didn't have to be that way. There was multiple reasons why it was. There was multiple offers on the home. They were trying to help me out, but then it was actually really hard to go that quick because of the way I earn money. Completely illegal. No, I'm just kidding. And, and
No, you had it right the first time.
yeah, I had it right the first time. And so it worked, But when the house went through, we were like, oh, should we get married? That's literally how we said it to each other. We're like, do you want to get married? We were like, yeah, and then we got married.
No, I mean, that makes it sound.
Wait, I feel like that's cool. See, I like that.
We had said
that's cool.
that we were going to get married the following year. So since we were going to get married in a year, we were like, let's just start looking at stuff because we didn't expect to find something that we would want. And what are you doing?
Your hair's stuck to your face. So I was just
messing
trying
up my makeup.
Oh, I apologize. But I got no makeup on my hand. Hey, I don't know about makeup. I didn't get any, man.
So
Go ahead.
Then we found this place, blah,
And
blah,
it
blah.
sped it up,
So then we were like, well, let's get married right now because obviously we wanted to. I wanted to get married at 18.
Jeez.
Which would have been a horrible idea.
Actually insane.
Looking back, but
why would that have been? Did you change drastically from 18 to 19? Because I would say that you probably didn't.
Suggest to most people to get married at 18. First
Well,
of
not
all,
most people, it's
second
about
of all, my maturity level did not
Did it change a lot from 18 to 19?
I was 20. First of all,
You're
just barely. I was like,
just bare.
no,
You're 20?
I turned 20 in January
Allie's here
and
for
we
the
got
memes.
married in June. So
that's literally all I'm gonna say.
You guys are looking at this too much, so I'm gonna dim it.
That's right.
I'm trying to look at this a lot
Good,
more
no, that's
than
fine. No, I'm looking at it too.
I am looking at
When I
Esther's
said
eyes
you
and I'm
guys,
like,
I actually
girl
meant
needs
us.
to look up.
Yes, I meant us.
And I can't even see myself down there because my eyes are blurred.
Now you really can't see. And by the way, I'm
glasses.
looking at it for levels usually, like the mics, because everything's shown here. Anyway, sorry, I apologize. Continue.
Lost my train of thought. So I do feel like there was quite a bit of growth from 18 to 20, but still looking back now to when I was 20, I'm like, girl, get it together. But I feel like every year I look back and I'm like,
Why?
girl, get it together, which
That's
is
so
good.
funny.
Which is good and bad, because I
yeah.
do think you should continue to grow
Right.
as you get older, always.
But you also hope that you've.
And I do think it has gotten less drastic because thinking to being 24, there's not like an extreme.
Well, yeah, each year you would hope would be a less
change.
major leap in.
But like if you look like 25 to 18, like that's a huge leap.
Right, you wouldn't want to have the same.
And that's like a big growth.
Unless you're someone who
age
matured
group.
very early, which you would say that you don't feel like you're someone that did that.
Now, hear me out. People would have called me mature.
Who? No, I'm just kidding.
Most people.
I'm literally asking her who.
For most of my
I knew
life.
Ali would say that, so I'm literally asking
most
him.
of my life, people have called me mature, but they do that because I'm
You were
shy
quiet.
and
Exactly.
I feel like that was
quiet.
the same. Yeah.
Exactly.
as a younger
That's
person,
such
they're
a
like,
cheat
"Oh, you're
code.
not running around and off the walls."
Yeah.
So mature.
That's
But
such a cheat code and not true.
Emotionally, I was not mature.
I got it from Ali, so that's good.
Anyways,
So
Allie's
gonna say.
the queen of giving feedback when you're talking.
yeah.
Which-
So
you gotta validate people. You
oh,
know?
come on. So anyway, speaking of that, when I got home today after working, I walked in and through the curtain open a little bit, I could see Allie, and I didn't know she was going to be here. And I was like, oh, Allie's here.
As always.
She just popped up, and then I walked in, and they're like, we're doing a podcast. And I was like, great, hooray. I love doing them, but it was a complete surprise.
Feel about that because
go
I
ahead.
feel like very often I like to surprise you with things that are like not like surprise an exciting thing, but I'm like,
Wait.
always
I would say that's very
like
exciting.
I'll make you food before you come home, and
He
then
gets
sometimes he
very
comes
excited
home
about
and
his
he's like, I
podcast.
got
Yeah.
food at work on
it depends.
lunch.
It
Why
depends.
didn't you tell me? And I'm
I
like,
thought you were going to ask.
I wanted to surprise
When
you.
you ask me how I feel about it, I mean, I guess to other people's estimation, probably showing up and someone being there that you're not expecting to be there and then saying, we're going to film this thing, they would be thrown off guard. I love it. That's something that I would like to do at any time. I've talked about doing that. I was the one that mentioned to do the podcast weeks ago and was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I don't care that it's random, but I do think that most people would be caught off guard by it. But
Yes,
no, I'm
but
not caught
I
off
obviously
guard.
know you well
chilling.
enough that it would not. Otherwise, I would tell you.
Now, you
But I'm
usually
I'm
don't like a
wondering,
change in the plans.
General, would you rather be told? Because a lot of times in a lot of different aspects, I'm like, oh, let me surprise him with this when he gets home.
I don't care about surprises. If you're asking me if I like surprises or dislike surprises, I don't mind either way. They're cool. They're not cool.
Period.
They're
That
just
means
in
I'm
there.
gonna keep
Cool
doing
and
it.
not cool all at the same time.
Yeah, I really don't mind. I really don't mind either way about a surprise. But obviously, the food one, you mentioned the food, so I just want to mention that. I try to watch what I eat all the time. I gain weight very easily. So if I don't know that there's going to be food, sometimes I'll eat and then I'm upset. I'm not mad. I'm just saying I'm disappointed because I would have rather not eaten. I want to eat what she made, and I want to.
I think I've started. No, I
You
still.
usually
I
tell
didn't
me.
tell you. No, I did. Today,
You said I have
today
plans.
because he ate a bunch of stuff last night. I was like,
Because I ate a bunch
you're
of
not
great,
gonna
thanks.
take a lunch to work.
By the
but
way-
you can have protein shake and stuff, and then I'll have food for you when you get home.
Why we ate a bunch last
today
night, Esther
was
said, I
planned.
want snacks.
Today
And she
was
comes running
planned.
down the stairs dancing. And she goes, snacks, snacks, and got all this stuff out. And it's hard to then not eat it.
I didn't get all this stuff out, but I did do a massive shopping
You
haul.
took a little
haul,
picture
that's-
of it too.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
And it
Yeah.
did
I
look
didn't
very
show you the picture. I
appetizing.
set it all up.
Ali,
Sorry, we're
surprises.
just rambling on.
I know.
Just
No,
expect
don't worry.
that.
No,
Don't
no,
worry.
no.
I won't let it go
My
too long.
parents are
I'm good.
talking. It's-
Yes. How do you surprises? How do you feel about surprises? Like them, dislike them, and then give a little context.
I feel like my natural instinct is to say I don't like them, but then there are nice surprises that I feel like people do.
What's a
It's
nice
like,
surprise you remember that you like?
I knew you were gonna ask me that question, and in my
Yes.
brain I was like, I
I'd
don't
have to come
an
up with.
answer right
Okay,
now.
that's so funny that she knew I was gonna
Yeah.
ask that. If you don't have one, that's fine. But
Dang, I don't know. Yeah.
you smaller like
Mm-hmm.
if the plans change, if there's plans and they change on Esther, that really throws her off. So I feel like a surprise can sometimes be that. It's not necessarily. So basically my question to you is, if you had your day planned or whatever, a true surprise, you wouldn't know it's coming. So you'd
Yeah.
already have other stuff planned, a surprise, boom. Would that upset you, throw you off,
No.
anxious, or would you just be like, oh, cool, let's do it?
Unless like it was something that I really, really wanted to do, and then like the plans got changed. Like,
And
oh,
the plan
like
is
surprise,
worse.
we're
The
gonna do
surprise is
something
worse.
else. Yeah, you know, like then that's
I was
like
gonna say,
that's
obviously-
disappointing. You know,
Obviously, it comes down to what the surprise
yeah,
would be. Yeah, no, that's fair.
It varies.
So the really funny thing when you started working where we were already currently, I mean, you've worked there for a few years. I've worked
Yeah.
there for a long
too
time.
many.
You've worked there
I
a
think
couple years tops, 2 years, not even.
two.
Approaching two,
Which is what makes
Yeah.
me nervous because I'm like, oh, that means I've been there 3 or more years.
Okay.
Probably
So-
Crazy.
more. Definitely
Yeah.
more.
So,
That's tragic. I
So
need to
what,
get out of there.
what's interesting?
not
What's
where I
interesting
should be.
is I also know all the extended care people a lot. That's what their department's called.
Yeah.
I also know them a lot too. I just hang out. Esther works there, so I meet them. We have fun. We hang out, whatever. But so I knew of Allie, and time went on, and then it turns out that we were in a homeschool group,
Yeah.
and she had been over to my parents' house multiple times. So then I found out I actually knew her, and then even crazier. I mean, this is just crazy. Even crazier. Esther's dad taught her math in
Or
like
he
college
didn't-
or
he
something. Or what did he do?
teach me.
He was a tutor, but
He was a
not for
tutor
her
because I was,
directly.
you know,
Oh, not for you directly. You
No.
actually didn't take a
He
class
was a tutor
with
No,
in the
yeah.
math lab, and she would be in there, so sometimes he would help her.
and he'd be
Oh, he-
one
so
of
he did
the
help you
only
sometimes one-on-one.
people who
Okay.
could help me
her. He's good
because yeah, he was
Yeah,
actually
he's
really
good. He's
good
good.
at
Yeah.
you know
at
math.
math.
And I was not.
You know,
I was in the
math.
math lab for like 3 hours a day trying to get
Really?
through calculus.
So you actually saw him quite a bit.
Actually,
I mean, you guys made it sound like
pre-calculus.
then I was saying like you had seen him quite a bit.
No, yeah, because
He wasn't your teacher of
he
a
wasn't
class.
my teacher, but I would always go after the specific class to the math lab.
And he
And
would
he
often
was
be
always
in
there.
Oh,
It
okay.
was kind of like
So anyway,
the way
I
the
find
times
that-
worked out.
Yeah. So anyway, I feel like everyone would find that quite intriguing. She had been to my house.
Yes, multiple times.
Multiple times in a homeschool group.
Yeah.
She
Not
had
your
met.
house, this house.
Well,
yeah,
correct. When I was
yeah.
homeschooled, my parents' house, and then you had met her dad a bunch, and you didn't really know either of us.
No,
you never
I've
had met Esther.
Never met Esther.
You technically knew of
I
me,
technically did, but like,
but I was a little bit older.
Yo,
and
we're
I
a
was
big
friends
family.
or nothing.
big
you
family,
know,
and I was also
so-
in and out during a lot of those meetings. I don't
Yeah.
know if you were. You're
I don't
not a
think
lot
you were
younger than me.
ever
What? You're
there.
5 years,
Yeah,
6 years, five and
5,
something
6 years
younger than me,
ish.
and so
Quick math.
often at that time I was coming
Math.
in and out at the end or the beginning of those meetings that they had. My
Yeah.
parents were the like district kind of like coordinator for this homeschool group, and it got
Yes.
very small in our area, so we did kind of know everybody. But the age that I was, when were you coming to the house? How many times did you come for those meetings? Not often.
I no
only came a couple
because
times.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to go.
No, you didn't want to go. No,
Yeah.
no, I take zero offense, obviously.
That's mostly because it was for like the parents.
It was for the parents, and anyone who came was younger who like they didn't want to leave at home. There weren't a lot of
Yeah.
people your age at the
No,
time
no.
coming, but you did come a couple times.
I did come a couple of times because
trying to see if
your
I can
sister
even-
Lindsay would make the best desserts.
Fire, and it's
And-
true too. And it's true too. Is
Yeah.
that why you came?
I did
That's
come
amazing.
one time. Yeah.
Shout out Lindsay. That's
I
fire.
know. I don't really know her, but
Yeah, you really don't. She lives about an hour and a half away now, so
Yeah.
we don't see her as
I
much.
saw her like once recently at your birthday party.
Facts. That would make sense.
And then I just always think of her no big cheesecake that she made.
Fire.
And
It's
it
true.
was
It's
so
true.
good.
That's funny. But yeah, during
Yeah.
those meetings, I would just like walk in at the end, and it's funny because everyone's sitting right in the front room and the front door. You know, I'd walk in and they're like, "It's Curtis," yeah, and then I would just walk
Curtis.
away. And yeah, at the time I was
Do
called
not know
Curtis.
him as Curtis
I know.
at
Esther swore
all.
she would never not call me Curtis. When people started calling me
Oh
George,
no,
she's
they
like, "Well,
can
that's
see
weird."
my socks.
It's okay. She noticed, even though I turned down the brightness so she couldn't see.
Way
She
to
goes,
call attention
because
to
"They
it.
can
So
see
if
my."
anybody-
Yeah,
we're
no
not
one
gonna
would.
see
Yeah,
them.
now they know.
Yeah.
Oh no, my socks.
Oh no, my socks.
That's funny. So yeah, it's just I just find that quite funny that now we hang out a bunch now, and we have
Yeah.
technically probably
would've
known of
thought?
each. I know that is quite funny. Small world cliche, but true.
You know what I had a thought of, which would be a good thing to ask Allie.
Okay.
Oh no.
I feel like a lot of our friends
Okay.
that we see most often are all unmarried people.
Oh my god.
Esther
And
loves
I'm
this one. Esther
wondering,
loves
no,
this one.
I'm not. I'm
You're not getting into that.
not gonna harass Allie about not being with someone.
Okay. At
Thank
least
you
not
for
right now.
that.
You
I'm
will later.
wondering-
You will later.
How the other person feels being friends with a married couple. If it's like, what the vibe is.
What is
Could I
the
add to
vibe?
that real quick before you answer, not to interrupt? Do you know or have a close friendship like this one with other married people
No.
that aren't your relatives?
At the moment, no.
Okay.
Because I feel like surprisingly a lot of people like around my age or like my circle before I met you guys, they were largely single.
Not
as
married,
well.
not even
So,
dating. A
no,
lot of
yeah,
them.
they
Right.
were just
Yeah, I remember that story. Or about that.
So as far as even having friends who had boyfriends,
It was
rare.
also slim. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So was it weird when you first started hanging out with us?
Yes. Just kidding. Actually, it was so weird. No, it was like, oh, she's married. And then I was like, oh, but it's George. Like,
It's different because
It's
you already
different.
knew
Well,
him.
yeah,
from-
and that is quite funny. So how long did you, once you hadn't met Esther yet, but once
Yeah.
you knew of Esther in your
Knew of
department
Esther,
and then
yeah.
knew of me, did you know we were married yet? Did you know of us
It
individually?
took a long time for me to realize that Esther was married.
So you
but
didn't. So you knew of both of us and
I-
didn't know we were married.
I figured it out.
You figured it out
I
without being
figured
told.
it out.
Well, probably.
But mostly because I didn't see you at all during the summer when I started. Because
That's true,
you
'cause I don't
you
work
weren't
during
there.
the summer.
So I thought
Oh, I see.
Esther was
Younger.
maybe dating, maybe single. She's still young.
Right, that's the thing. No, but even
Yeah.
younger. You probably thought she was closer to your age. I mean, 3 years isn't
golly,
far.
Was I like, how many years did we say I was
You were
younger?
20,
Yeah. I was
which
like
makes
21.
her 23.
Mm-hmm.
No, you weren't 21.
You weren't
Oh, I'm
21.
25 right now. We
When
said
you
I've been
guys-
working there for 3 or 4 years.
Well, yes, but I'm saying when you guys met.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
you were 23-ish and
It
she
was
was
like-
20-ish.
Oh, am I dumb?
She's worked there for 2 years.
20-ish. I
Oh,
think.
2 years, right. I was
That's
thinking, I
Not
was
since you've
thinking
worked.
back to when I started working there, but she wasn't
Not
there
since
yet.
you've worked.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
But so you thought she was probably a little bit younger, closer to your age because she looks younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to remember.
Ali doesn't care about the age thing.
No,
She's
because
like,
the
George,
age
why do you
is
keep
just
mentioning
like,
the age?
Can't even.
You don't care.
I'm such a
You don't
bad
think about it.
tell
Okay,
of like
okay.
age anyway, so it doesn't.
So you did find out we were married actually before you met me because of it being summer. Because I'm not there very much during the summer.
No, you're not. So
Right.
I was like, maybe she's single, maybe she's not. I don't know.
Did
And
you
then,
ask or did it just come up?
well, did we talk?
Oh yeah, you guys weren't really talking. That's
So,
funny.
there we
We really
go.
didn't even talk till
Did I
school
show up
started.
and then
No,
Esther
That's
was
what I'm
like,
saying. So
okay.
when school started, you started showing up a lot inside extended care
Well, right,
department.
yeah, I'm there all the time.
And then I kind of clued myself in on, oh wait, they're married.
Right, because she would be like, "Mommy," when I'd walk in and stuff, and she would like yell my name.
Super excited. She'd be like, the world is dead or whatever.
And then when I walk in,
and she's like, oh
she's
my
like,
gosh. And then she would like,
every time.
and then we would talk in like groups, which I think is when I first started
Right.
talking. To
And then
Esther.
I always come in and crash. You guys are like in there actually working, and then I sit down on one of the rolling chairs and
Yeah.
kind of just yell a little bit.
Distract
I
Yeah.
remember
us,
like the first
get us in
conversation
trouble.
I think all of us had was when, okay, R.I.P. the Queen.
No way, was that? No way. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
do. Yeah, because I was trying
That
to
is
rack my brain.
funny.
I was like, when was the first
When
time
was
we
it?
all started
That
talking?
was
And I was like,
probably
it
it.
was when the Queen.
That's funny
died.
because I walked in and
Tragic.
mentioned it, and then people didn't know about it yet.
Yes.
And then I was telling
I
everybody.
thought
and-
everyone was lying
and-
to me.
Right, and you didn't even think it was true.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are joking.
I remember that. That's
because
funny.
I've watched the weddings, the royal weddings. I watched Kate
Classic.
and what's
Kate
his
is
name?
such a
Yeah.
moment.
Okay, but wait about this. Her mom was there for the 50th Jubilee
That's
for the Queen.
insane.
She was there in England for it.
In England.
Well, it's a good thing. She was like, I'm happy I went.
Yeah, because then
I mean, yeah, because after
Queen ain't
that, sorry if this
it's just a
is
siren. This won't pick it up.
I thought it was wailing, like a cry.
That's what I thought.
The sound
Also,
just now?
I just
Yeah.
looked
Oh no,
right.
it's just a fire engine or
That
something.
makes,
looked right
that makes me
into
feel
the
I mean,
better.
not to. Wherever there's a fire, I hope they're doing okay.
I hope so too.
It's just a siren.
It's
I
kind
didn't
of
mean
bad
it like-
timing when we're talking about the Queen dying.
That's crazy. So something that I know that they started talking about a lot more lately, which I find so funny because I am not into this
What
at
is he
all,
gonna say?
is their game on their phone. So they always play.
Oh my God.
They always play
It's the New York Times.
New York Times Wordle and Strands or something.
Strands has been our thing.
Okay, so
and
tell me a little bit about this
connection.
because I don't really. First of all, I'm really bad at it. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two. How does she even know? Number two is I just would never play. It's just not something that comes to mind. So
Yeah.
you told her about it, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was doing Wordle here once, and she was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It
Okay.
is."
But you're
the
not
most-
super into word games either. So how'd you get into it?
I'm not, but
Okay. So talk about that. I find that
I don't know. I
intriguing.
just saw Allie do it a couple times, and I was like, let me
It's
try this.
it's
And then I
different.
got
Like even if you're not
hooked
into
into
word games,
it can be.
it's addictive.
Okay.
Because then it's like it also keeps like your streaks and stuff like that.
Oh,
And then it's
smart.
kind of like it's a challenging thing. Like you want to be.
It's good for your brain. I mean, it's better than scrolling around.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you
makes me
guys?
feel smart.
Yeah, I look forward to it every day.
That's now. See, this is the type of stuff I like to hear about. So you look forward to this little thing on your phone every day.
Yes. Why are you looking there?
I'm not actually. I'm just.
Okay.
I'm just
You're
zoned
just
out.
so
I'm
deep
just
in
thinking.
thought that
Yeah,
I
I
can't
just
even
when you guys told me
see
that you
right
look forward to
now.
it every day, I just got into fetal position. No, but
Well, it's just your giant.
I know it's just my
dome.
dome. We should just all look straight down. No, but I'm serious. Like because
I was talking about that earlier though because
What? Oh,
I
'cause,
was
like,
looking
your
in this
hair?
before it started, and I was like, oh my gosh,
can
I could
see
actually
my-
see my part.
that's
like,
hecka
you
funny.
know?
Esther, lean down. Let's see the
It's
part.
pretty straight.
Dang.
In case you guys are wondering.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
pretty- So I like to figure out and find out what and why make people look forward to things
Yeah.
and what gets them up or what not. So I want to quantify that. Let's say that you could only play. When do you regularly get up in the morning? When do you get up? Like when do you wake up? What's
like
normal?
8.
Okay. So 8 is when you normally.
Yeah.
Would you wake up at 7 to play this game?
No.
If you had to. Okay.
Interesting.
That was so fast.
Interesting question.
No, it's very important because
One thing you have to know is I value my sleep more than anything in the world. So,
But see, do you see how I use that to quantify it? So
Yeah.
there's a common phrase, obviously. Does it make you get up earlier? Does it make you stay up at night
Now here's
wanting
a better
to do it?
question: Would you
forward
stay
to
up later to do it?
yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Isn't that funny?
It
Isn't
takes
that funny?
a lot
And
to
then
get you to
I
get up
will-
earlier.
Right.
Sleep in. My body can't really sleep in anymore, but
I get it. So anyway, I that was just kind of a lead up question.
Can
to,
I just say,
Yeah, please.
I think I enjoy it much more because we both do it, and some other
Exactly.
people at work do it. So
That's
it's like
true.
exciting. And then
Yep.
if I want to get it, like, do it in the right amount of guesses or do it with no mistakes, so that I can then send it to them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
so
so
he just wants
it
to
makes
do
it that much
better
more
than us.
exciting.
and that's exactly
It's
what I wanted to try to
competition,
lead.
It's growth.
Right.
It's schmarticle particles.
Exactly. And that's what I was
Smarty.
trying to lead to with those questions is it's a community based thing.
Oh,
So
for
you enjoy
sure.
it because you're doing it with other people.
Yeah.
It's a competition based thing.
Uh-huh.
So you're finding out these things about this thing that you like to do, and it's making you enjoy it more, look forward to it every day. What in your life do you wish you did more of or did better at? And how could you use those pieces, that community, that competition? How could you take those attributes of the game Wordle out of that and put it into something that you know you should be doing more of, but you're not doing it because you're not excited about it? And that's a question for both of you and for me. But I guess I'll direct it towards Allie first. So what's something in your life that you know would be productive, good, that you should be doing, but it just
Yeah.
feels like a chore?
Reading my Bible sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now there's
I'm
that
being
app.
honest.
There's that app.
There is
the Bible app. The
I
Bible
do.
app.
I have it on my phone.
And do you have
my,
and it gives you the streak?
Yeah,
it
my
does
streak
that.
keeps
It
dying.
does.
So,
Dang,
is like-
we're getting serious on the pod.
I mean, we're just gonna be honest.
No, please,
right?
please do,
Like,
please do.
So reading my Bible has always been hard for me. Like
Same, by the way.
But I think it's just because like growing up in church, like
Right.
you've heard these stories like a million times. I
Right.
think
It
in
doesn't
your
feel fresh.
head-
Doesn't feel new.
Yeah, like in your head, you're like, I already know this.
Right.
And then you read it and
Right.
it's like, but I didn't know that.
'Cause
Like,
It's just so
being-
think I forgot,
tragic
you know?
when you think about it that we get more excited for this little game because I literally
Yeah.
was also gonna say that. I was like,
Love
that's
it.
with
But this is good, 'cause you
the
gotta
other
think
girl
about
that we
No,
work
yeah.
with. We were both like, we're gonna do prayer journal together. We're gonna ask each other about it daily. We've asked each other about it. Definitely not daily, but a few times.
But you've been doing it.
But yeah, we've been doing it.
Yeah.
But so I tried to do what you said. Tried to get that accountability,
Exactly.
buddy.
And that's what I was.
And it's, I mean, I'll ask her about it on
this
next
is
time
a
I see
good
her, which is
reminder to ask her.
Tuesday, which is a couple
And
days
that's-
away, or I
and-
could text her right this second.
That is true.
And that's what I'm talking about, because if you have something you want to accomplish, something you want to do, and you can find the things that motivate you in other areas, take out those attributes from that thing and try to put them into the thing that you're having difficulty doing. Anything can become fun. It's not, and how you do anything is how you do everything. So you don't want to have something that you find so important to yourself, like for all three of us reading the Bible,
Yeah.
be something that we don't find
enjoyable.
extremely enjoyable. I wouldn't say any of us find it not enjoyable, but
Yeah.
at least it's not always
It's like not the first
enticing.
thing on your mind.
right
And
when
the
it should be
annoying- the
to some
annoying
degree.
thing
Not just
is-
the
Yeah.
reading of the Bible. There's a lot of pieces to it, but we're kind of simplifying a little bit for anyone that's watching. But Allie also commented on something that would be all three of us would find true as well. You can't be born a Christian when you're born, but when you're born into Christian families, it can feel like that. It can feel like that. It's not true, but it can feel like that. Like I feel like I've been a Christian for as long as I can remember. And can that be true? Yes, it can be true, but it needs to be personal and for yourself.
What it really means is if you've been living a Christian life your whole life,
Yeah.
but then at a certain point you
Have to
You, like-
make that relationship with
right,
God your
right,
own.
right. So it's just
then it changes over.
because I wonder how many
when
years
it
do you
becomes
feel like
you
you've
doing it yourself rather than being told and being
right?
brought
How many
places.
years have you played Wordle?
A
Not
year.
even. Okay.
Like maybe.
And you
well,
probably a
it was
little bit
off and
less.
on.
Yeah, me
So
not, not
that's the other thing. Like I wonder if you will be.
How many years have you been a Wordler?
How
I've
many
been
years
a
have
Wordler
you
for a year.
played?
Wordle?
What's the other one called?
Wordle.
Strands.
Strands.
How many years have you been a
Strands and
strander?
Probably like
Connections.
Oh,
2
connections. There's
months.
3.
There's actually
Oh,
much more
There's
than 3, but we do 3.
crossword
guys-
puzzles as well.
Do you guys do those?
Yeah,
Which-
once strands became a thing, I threw out the crossword puzzle.
But sometimes if I want to lengthen my time on, doing New York Times games, I will do all of
I
them.
want to lengthen
Yes,
my time. No,
yes.
Sometimes I do it very early in the morning because I do it at work, and I do all 3,
and then she sends them to me when I'm actually doing my job.
yes, and then I do end up doing the crossword
Yeah.
just because at the end of the day I'm like, oh, I've done it already. So
now
then
I
do that
also
one.
I like that you guys look forward to that. It wasn't like, oh, you should be looking forward to something else, because it also doesn't take a lot of time. How much time do you think you spend in one day
I wanted
on?
to say,
Go ahead.
but you were talking, so then I waited and I forgot. The annoying thing about back to the Bible reading is I always am happy once I do it. And after
Yes.
I've done it, I'm like, hooray. And I enjoy when I'm doing it. And yet still the next time I'm like, oh,
That's how
Yeah.
I gotta
productive
do
things.
my Bible. I'll do it later.
That's how productive things often are. If you could just force yourself to do it, diligence
Like
is what
working
matters
out.
more than
I
You don't gym or
working out.
anything like that.
I
do you?
don't gym. I was just talking to Esther though earlier. I was like,
Do you want to go?
Wait,
no.
Oh dang!
I don't want to gym.
You don't want to gym?
I want to start running again.
Oh, again. So you've run in the past.
Yes, that was like
She's
the
a
only
runner.
form of working
Like
out
a
that I would
jog-
actually do.
Like what? Like jog for an hour? Like what was it to you? What was running? What did you do?
I had a treadmill, or I still have a
nice.
treadmill at my house, and so I would just use that every day.
Oh, fun. That's great. Every day. You would do it every day.
I would do it every day,
Oh,
yeah.
fine.
And then
For how
my mom
long?
was like, "No, you gotta take a break every once in a while." I was like, "Okay." So yeah.
Mom, I don't know. if that-
Imagine
no, I'm just-
encouraging
No, no,
people
no, no.
not to run.
It was only
How
because I
long
was
were you
like, "Oh my
doing it?
gosh, my legs hurt," and then
Okay,
I
sure.
just kept on doing
Sure.
it.
You
You
do
can get
need
shin
rest
splints and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's how long were you doing it each day? Maybe
Like
do
an
you remember?
hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In one sitting.
Yeah.
No, you're not sitting. In one standing.
In one standing.
In one running.
In one long run.
In one
Yeah.
long for an hour. Okay. And what was the speed of the treadmill? Do you remember?
I would use
No, she'll
this-
remember. She'll remember
Give me
this
the
because
deets.
it's specific.
I would use this program. So
Nice.
it was programmed
program,
into
see?
the treadmill.
Yep.
It would start off with a walk,
Okay, fire.
and then it would
incline too, right?
it would do a manual incline as well.
Fire.
And then it would speed up. It would
Yep.
do like little bursts of
Yep.
like speed,
Yep.
and then it would slow back down, and it would speed
Do you
back
know the
up.
speed that it got to? Do you remember the number?
I think it was like a 4 point something or a 5
Nice.
or whatever.
So that's a
I
run
can't-
for sure.
Yeah,
That's
it was
a
a
run.
run. So that
I
was like
actually
that was
used
the
to
highest that it would
Yeah.
get.
do
5 is
that
good.
too now that I think about it when I was in high school, but I just manually changed the
Fine.
time in my treadmill.
You're like,
Definitely
stop.
probably had
Your treadmill
the
had that
thing.
because your dad has a nice treadmill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I don't know how nice, but it's a good
Of course, I
treadmill.
don't be figuring things out. I just be doing the work.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you, what has recently? It's so funny because I was actually purposely going to ask at one point about
Yeah.
like personal fitness stuff, and then you just brought it up on your own, so that's fire. Because
Oh,
Esther
yeah.
didn't
Good
plan.
for you.
Esther didn't plan any of this. Like Esther was like, "Come over to the podcast," and Esther didn't come up with anything to talk about. So
I was
it's
so
on me.
stressed.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's on me, but Esther likes to put those things on me anyway. So, the fitness you're
shade.
expressing that that's not shade. That's just how it is. Sometimes people think just stating the facts is like shade, but it's just that is literally how we live. So
Depends on how you say it.
no, not necessarily. I mean, if it's true, it's true. I mean, if I said it like really mean,
I don't know
maybe.
why
You
this
just said it-
conversation.
You said it very.
Huh? What's that again?
matter
It's
of
reminding me of like I don't know why I'm bringing up the Kardashians right now.
What?
But
How
like
they-
it's
what,
like oh like if that's
Like
if
backstabbing
that's
stuff.
mean
or-
to you, like I just won't make that jokes around you anymore.
I just won't make around me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny. So, no, don't worry. I talk like that to everybody.
You're good.
You know who else I talked to like that? Which now we're totally off track, but I did like that. That was funny.
Yeah.
I talk to I teach a lot of kids, but even really little. I'm talking infants. I talk to them like they're adults.
Infants.
I talk to them like they're adults.
Oh,
I'm like, hey, what's up?
baby.
How's it
Like,
going?
dab me up right quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was annoyed because I saw a
Knuckle.
really viral video about it, and everyone always comments how it's so weird that I do that. And I was like, I wish I would have posted that first. So anyway, you're not into the gym, and you've openly
Yeah.
voiced that many times. But now I was going to ask you about fitness stuff, and then you specifically said that you want to start running again. So when did that come? When did you start feeling like you want to do that again?
I've been feeling that way for a while because I
But
just
you
like
haven't done it.
okay, a while would be like
How long is a while?
this month, this past
Okay,
month.
okay. In
Which-
the last few weeks,
In
you've
the
been
last
like, I
few
want to try it
weeks,
again.
I've been like, yeah.
But you haven't done it.
Took me.
No. The
What's-
one thing,
What's kept you from doing it?
my shoes. I need good
No,
running
that's
shoes.
fair. That's fair.
I've been
Running
thinking
shoes are
about,
$150.
Yes, they're expensive,
they're not
and
cheap.
so I really want to get Clifton 9s because I also
Whoa, she knew that.
I do. I
Now
do.
that's
The
holding you
Hoka's-
back from doing it, though.
It's not holding me back.
Well, it is. No, it is. That's what you just said.
Okay, yeah. No,
It is
it's
holding you back.
holding me back, but it's like it's also like the routine part of it is also holding me back. Like I need to
When are
find
you
I
gonna
need to
do
find
it?
the time to do it.
Do you feel like you have to run for an hour again in one sitting?
It usually just like the time just goes by whenever I do it, and that's the reason why I do an hour is because like I like to do miles.
And you finish a certain amount of miles on that setting.
Yeah.
When it puts you through the thing. Okay.
And so that's kind of what it is. And also like where my treadmill is located now
Is not in the right spot.
is
It's not ready to
it's
use.
not in the right spot. It's just that it used to be in the garage
And
because
now
we
it's not.
would have like this at-home gym inside our garage,
That's fine. Do you still?
which is we do actually.
Why don't
but,
you use it? If you had an at-home gym, what's stopping you from doing it?
There was nothing. I mean, I was working out before. I just
No, you were just running.
yeah.
Well, you said at-home gym. Is there more equipment to this
There
at-home?
is. There's a bench press.
Did you ever
there's
use that?
She needs to
I
get benching.
didn't use a bench press
Why
because
not?
Lord knows I couldn't lift like that.
You could just do the. You could just do the the bar.
bar.
You
There
could
was
do-
another
the bar
machine
is still
though
heavy.
that we have like an ab workout and like a pull up.
But did you ever
thing
use that?
combined. I did.
Oh, okay.
I would use
But
that
you
one
always said how
often.
much you didn't like the gym, so I didn't. I'm surprised to hear that you had stuff
Working
at
out
home.
is so much more enjoyable outside of the gym because I just hate having people.
Outside of the
I
gym,
would
it's more
agree.
enjoyable.
Yes,
Yeah.
If the gym was empty, I would love it. I'd literally go there 2 hours a day.
I like going to the gym.
I like going to the gym. I don't like people.
You do
not
not
like
like
the
going to the gym.
environment.
You
no.
like going to the
You
gym,
know,
but you wish no
just-
one was there.
Last time we were there,
I like
somebody
talking
got
about
on
the
a
gym.
treadmill right next to me. There was a million
all
other
know what
options, and
happened
I was like, "Really? You
last
had to be
time.
right next to me?"
I went to a gym.
What? What'd you say?
did we?
What happened last time we went to a
We
gym?
all
I don't.
told me. I forget now. Though.
No.
I don't know.
I
Tell us.
almost passed out.
Oh yeah.
Wait, remind me. I don't remember. Maybe you just told her.
This is
I
gonna
don't
be
remember.
an embarrassing story.
She's told you. Like,
Tell it. It's funny. The podcast would like to hear.
So basically, I was running on fumes. I just came back from like a group meeting.
Okay.
Right after my class, actually. So I had a class, and then I met
What
up
was
with
the class? School stuff?
school stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was when I was in college in
Okay.
Arizona.
Okay.
And so they were just like, oh, like come to this workout
Group, whatever.
thing
Oh, so
that
friends
they're
of yours
having.
were there.
Yeah, so it was actually like friends of mine who were like, hey, like come with us, like we signed you up. And I was like, fantastic, thank you.
Oh, at the time you liked that.
No.
Okay, but you said fantastic.
I was willing to try it out
Okay,
because
okay.
they
You
were
were
super
willing.
into it. So I was
Okay.
like,
So
maybe
basically, we
I'll
should
like
sign
it.
her up for a class.
Jeez,
Yeah,
she would hate
no,
us, bro.
don't
She
do
wouldn't go.
that
She
because
wouldn't
hear
go.
me out. It didn't end well.
It didn't end well? Okay, let's hear it.
And so by the
Let's hear
time
the
I
story.
had gotten back, I was out all day.
Okay.
And then, so I didn't eat.
Oh, you hadn't eaten
I hadn't eaten.
you
And
go to the
I
gym
drank like a little bit of water.
all day.
Like, yes, like I didn't
Golly.
drink a lot of water. So I
That's
went
how these
to
girls
the...
be, bro. I
That's
don't know
college
how.
life, baby.
Oh, for real. that's what I said. I was running off of fumes and
No,
I
no,
went
you were
to go
legit.
do the workout class, and it was like it was an instructor. So
Oh, that is worse. Yeah,
I
that's
had
more.
no
So this
Now
this one
that
of your
I
first
actually
gym
enjoy.
experiences
in a while.
in a while then?
Yeah.
And so then what happened?
So I was doing the exercises, and at some point I was like,
I'm not feeling great.
my body is
Jeez.
feeling a little funny. And then I was like, I'm just gonna keep going. And so I keep going and I keep going. And at some point, like we finally had like a rest time. And at this point, it had been like
I do remember
like
this now.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like, and so I sat down, and then as soon as I sat down, my whole body just like shut down. Like it
That's
told me, it was like, hey, you
crazy.
shouldn't have done this. And I tried to warn you, and you still didn't
And you
listen.
still did it.
And so
Jeez.
I stood up so fast after that, and I walked over to the instructor,
Why
and I
would
was
you have
like,
stood up so fast? That's a bad
because
idea.
I was like panicking.
You were done. Oh, okay.
My body was like, it
You
was
were
doing
you were
things
ready.
that
You
it
were,
had never done
I get
before.
it. I get it.
And so I ran over to the instructor, and
You're
I
like,
was like, I don't feel good. And she was like, what do you mean? And I'm like,
I feel
I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
And
And
you
I just
did.
tell her that. And then she was like, okay, like, what do you need? Like, do we need to get you
Not
sit
very
down? I was like,
helpful.
all of a sudden I was just like, I don't know. And I started blinking like really heavily too.
Like,
Like, I was just
boom,
trying to keep
boom.
myself awake.
Esther hates heavy blinkers, by the way.
Dang.
You do. You just mentioned it the other day.
She hates me. Sorry.
No, you don't do that on a regular basis.
No.
Yeah.
That was just the one moment.
Okay, so
she would have
heavy
hated me then.
blinking.
Yes, and mind you, this was a small gym, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
supposed to be like one of those nicer ones for like more intimate workout
Supposed to
settings.
be. So you're saying it wasn't.
No, like
Okay,
it was, but
Okay.
I ruined it because,
But maybe this is why you dislike the gym, is because of this bad.
No, for sure, yeah. And
Okay.
it was like I walk over to the front desk because she leads me over there. She stops the whole class for me, by the way, which
She
is
says, "Attention, everyone!
No,
no,
literally.
Allie is
Yeah.
having a problem."
And
Allie is
then
not feeling well.
I go over to the front desk and I just like lay my head down on the desk, and they're like, "What do you need?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
You're
And
just
they're
like, I
like,
don't feel
okay, let's get her a chair. And then like
That's funny.
I had random people giving me water bottles, granola bars, like someone
So you were
actually
kidding. You
gave
just
me
actually
their
wanted the stuff.
yes.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. That I was
Yes.
kidding.
No, I know you were.
No, but and so I
That's
just like
funny.
I was just consuming, or I was trying to, but I was eating so slowly.
That's
Like
what I was gonna say, because then you also wouldn't just want to start
I
knocking
looked
it back.
pale.
Yeah.
Like and I'm not pale.
Did you pass out?
I was this close.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
you
gonna
didn't
lie. I
fully
was
pass out.
too stubborn to pass,
To pass
out.
out. You in front. No.
In
Your
front of
body won't
people.
let you. This is
and
true.
I was like, "You're not passing out right
I've-
now because everyone's
gonna
already
know.
looking at you."
Jeez, I was
No,
part
everyone
of
was looking at me.
already
Everyone
looking- yeah.
stopped their equipment. Like
That's facts.
even people on the other side of the gym were looking at me. This is why I never went back.
I was I've been a part of a couple like group instructor led run fitness routine
I thought you
things.
meant, like,
Yeah,
running, and I was
terrible.
No, well there was
like, run as in like.
tailbow sandwich.
That's
and
what I was gonna say.
I know you were.
I was like, let me not say that right now.
Allie's holding back on all of her little like memes and stuff that she throws in, and so I gotta get her into the
I've
mood, because
said a couple.
that's all they do on a daily basis. is
Hey,
throw in-
hey.
No, not in a bad way. I'm saying you guys do that all. Like,
I just don't
I'm
have a
surprised
life.
that-
Clearly,
I'm
I'm
surprised-
chronically
No.
online, I guess.
I'm not saying that's all you do. That's what you do during conversations
This
like
is
this. Is you
just
guys
George
throw
just
in.
trying to make us get on his level right
What?
now.
No, not at all. It's just I want you to be. Whenever you start recording something, everyone always like kind of
Yeah.
changes if it's new to them. Not in a bad way, but I've been recording stuff with me in it for forever, like for a long time. And I always watch it back. So I act basically the same off and on.
This
So
is
anyway.
very new to me.
And Allie also usually always uses this as an accent when she's talking, like so often. And
Yeah,
so
my British accent hasn't come out in a while.
hasn't come out. Yeah, we'll keep going until it does. But I've been a part of a few of those things like that, and I think I would hate them now.
Yeah.
At the time, I was okay with them, but
funny that she mentioned that because I realize I loved those because I took several yoga classes.
You should
and
go to
Pilates
Orange Theory
classes,
Fitness. That's
and
right.
I thrived in that environment, which was tons of people.
And I almost died.
But we are all doing the
so-
same thing, and there's a teacher telling you what to do. At the gym,
you
everybody's
like
doing their own thing, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. These people are gonna laugh at me, and it's just
Yeah.
very stressful. But
That's
when we're
true,
all
like-
doing the same thing, and somebody's telling us what to do, I live for that.
Equipment is hard to figure out sometimes, like how to do
Yeah.
it
It
can be.
properly.
It can
Because
be.
there's a way that you can like there's a way to do it, but then there's also a way to do it incorrectly.
Oh,
It's gonna
100%.
hurt yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel
it
like
won't be
that's
as
the way
beneficial
that
either.
I would do it.
Do it.
Not
Dang.
gonna lie.
So you think that the way that you're naturally going to do it is
if
wrong.
I had a personal trainer, I would go to the gym.
I know. I want to get one, bro.
They do 6 free personal training days over here.
They're gonna be like, you
What the
are
heck?
soft.
Why haven't I done that?
You can do whatever you want. Stress.
Yeah, stress. Also time. I don't
Yeah.
really have a good gym near me. Or I do, but
Do you? What is it? What is it called?
I don't know.
know.
It's like, well, we have
Ours just changed.
Diamond Hills over where
It's
we
called
live.
Diamond Hills
There's
Gym?
one
Sounds
that's
like a
called Diamond
hotel.
Hills Gym. I know, right?
haven't
And
heard of it.
then there was another. There's In Shape. There's 24 Hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
there's
you've gotta
the
have one
There's
of
the
those.
classic ones.
Ours
you
is
know?
super close and it's super cheap, so it's nice. It's not as famous of a one.
Yeah.
Kind of small.
So you turned 22. You
I don't know about
said that you didn't. You said that you didn't. She also
Yeah.
sings everything, by the way, and
Yeah,
she'll
sorry.
sing the whole song.
Everything will be alright.
You know, like someone will start singing a song and they'll like sing like a sentence
No,
from
no,
it or
no, no,
whatever.
I gotta finish
she
the
does
verse.
the whole song. So
If I know it, I know it.
So
She always
you had
knows.
commented on oh, you know, I'm gonna go home, lay in bed and cry.
And
you
cry.
said,
We're circling back.
We are
Yeah,
circling back.
we're-
We
okay.
you got to circle back. You got to circle back.
Yeah.
And so was there any other? You said that the crying or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, was specifically because of things birthdays you've had in the past or birthdays, friends and these sorts of things. Was there anything? Also, any emotions of those attached to your age or what year it is or what you've gone through that year or what you think you might be going through in the upcoming year? Was there any other things that you are either looking forward to or not looking forward to in the year to come or in the past year that made you feel that way?
That's a loaded question.
Deep.
I'm
You don't have to
trying
answer. I mean, you can be as serious and open about it as you want or not.
like you mean like this year, like specifically?
Well, I don't
or
know. That's what I'm
just-
asking you.
Yeah.
Was there some sort of apprehension to something upcoming? Because when I turned 27,
Yeah, because you are 27.
I that's what I said, but it kind of sounded like when I said when I turned 27, but when I turned
When?
27, that was the first time that I felt, and I hate when people are like, oh, I'm old now, and oh, my siblings are old. So I feel that's cringe. But I did for the first time, 27. I was like, oh, I do feel older. That was the first time I felt that way. So anyway, I'm just wondering if you have any feelings towards 22 or this year or last year.
I feel like the older I get, the lonelier I tend to feel. If that
tend
makes
to
any
feel,
sense.
or is it real? You just feel that way, or are you getting more lonely?
That's hard a question.
Well,
I don't know.
There can be two different things.
I would say like it's more of a feeling because I feel like
Okay.
I always felt like alone, but mostly because I think growing up I was so far apart in age with my siblings. So when it came
What's
down
your closest
to it,
sibling age? How many years apart?
your age actually,
That's not that many years, is it?
it is growing
That's
up.
like a lot. Okay. I
'Cause-
mean, my older sibling was only 1 year older than me, so that's a lot closer than 5.
Yeah, if it was like 5-6 years, pretty much for
Who's
my
your closest sibling?
is my closest sibling.
Okay.
Yeah, growing up, and so that was just like it was just a lot of like I was just by myself.
You
a
feel like
lot.
they were doing their thing and they didn't have as much time for you.
Yeah, well, no, I just felt like I was always playing catch up
Okay.
in milestones and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I think that's probably the hardest part is like seeing my siblings like at a certain level, and it makes sense though because they're 5 years older than me. My oldest sister is 11 years older than me. So like obviously they're gonna be at different stages and ages.
Oh, you felt behind even though you knew they were so much older than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think that's probably what it is. Like I wanted to be at that age where we'd all be like at the same level and like
not just sisters, but like friends, like hanging out, doing all the same stuff.
Yeah. And
not that
I
you
will
weren't
say
friends,
like
I'm just,
there was a time period where it was like that, but you know, then everyone gets married.
Everyone,
like
all your siblings are married?
Most of them except for one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were there any milestones that siblings of yours hit at the age you are now? So forget the 5 years apart. Were there any milestones that your siblings hit at 20, 21, 22, the last few years that you haven't hit that you feel like now you don't measure up?
Bro's trying to make her depressed.
No, I'm not at all.
Podcast.
It's just a question.
Are you behind in anything?
No.
Have you
I said, do
missed
you
anything?
feel behind anything? I didn't say what I thought.
Do I feel behind anything?
Just to be clear.
First one would be like college. I feel behind on.
You do.
And I think it's kind of weird though because I was ahead for so many years because I did college and high school.
Oh yeah.
And then
they were done by this time or what?
Oh no, my older sister was. I feel like my brothers had a little bit more of a different educational journey, so it makes me feel a little bit better in like that sense, but also like they also struggled with feeling behind in that sense because we all kind of like took a break from college. So
all your siblings did some college, took a break, and then went back.
Yeah.
All of them.
Except for my oldest sister.
Okay,
she went to college like right out of high school, did the traditional 4 years, came back.
And did that work out well for her? Does she work in the field? Did she enjoy her time at college? Not that
she enjoyed her time at college. She does not work currently in the field that she majored in.
Is she happy or upset about that?
I don't know.
Do you know? Okay.
She's
you might not know.
She's married. She has 2 kids right now.
Okay.
So I think
so
it's
different
like
life.
Different life.
But
different
does she still
headspace.
work?
She does. She's on maternity leave right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Esther always hounds you about getting married. Were any of your siblings married at 22?
No.
Oh, okay.
A lot of my siblings, like my brother, he just got married this past year in February.
And guys are also usually a little bit older anyway.
So I think that's
How old was he when he got married?
He was 26, I believe.
I mean, that's not older. See, what's funny is
but
in ours,
his wife was 24.
Okay, because I was 22 and you were 20.
You know what's crazy though?
What's crazy though?
His brother just got engaged. Who is 22, and his fiance, I almost said wife, is 20, and that's when we got married, and I was like, cute, they're the same age. And then I was like, why do they seem like 12 to me? And I was looking at the picture of them as she's getting proposed to, and I'll zoom up, and I'm like, this is a child.
Well,
like that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I do, and I'm like, I want everyone to do that because it was so great and fun for me.
Yeah, well,
and then it happened, and I'm like,
you did look like a child. You did look like a child, but if you put a picture of me and Peter next to each other at 22, I would look 5 to 10 years older than him.
Correct.
Just because of the beard, and I was.
That's true.
I just look older, but you definitely look young.
Sorry.
You look. Say it again.
Yes. I keep on like
hitting it. It's not the end of the world.
But I feel like that's normal. Once you get older, you look at people.
Look down at people. She was about to say she swapped it.
No, I don't think
so.
No,
you said.
I think I just stuttered. I don't think.
Okay. No, and you weren't meaning it negative. I thought you were switching it to make sure it wasn't negative.
You look at people at an age
that
you used to be, and you were doing things, and you felt like I'm old enough, I'm mature enough, I'm blah blah blah, and then you turn around and look, and you're like, oop.
Yeah, but there's just people at different.
Like that's just but there's also just and now you're so much more mature than when you were. So you
but not necessarily.
You think, oh, you're immature.
Yeah, but you keep saying that like it's true for everybody. I feel very similar from since I was like 16.
I'm aware, and I often say, "Is that a good thing?" Because you should be growing and progressing.
You do often say that. Yeah, absolutely. But would you met me when I was 17? We met each other.
Yeah, 17.
So was I extremely immature? I don't know. I'm asking.
No.
Okay.
You were very mature emotionally and like what other way?
And the only reason I asked I asked that is Esther just now was like, is that a good thing? But then she just said that I was very similar. So don't say it like that if you agree.
I know. It sounds like a bad thing to me to hear somebody say, I'm the same as when I was 16. That would sound horrendous.
But you know me, so you could back me up instead of
correct. And I just did just now because
but I had to ask 3 times.
But it's just because normally like 16-year-old are just
Sure.
Yes,
sure.
and I do think you should still look back and
Oh,
have seen
of
growth.
course. Well,
in
I didn't
areas.
say no growth. I said I have a similar mindset or a similar. People mature differently. Now, generally, guys, goodness gracious, they're not mature till 25-ish.
Yeah.
Okay, that is most common. I was different in that way, and most girls are usually more mature earlier, and that was probably not true for you. You feel like you matured later,
Correct.
and that's not a diss or
Which
anything. That's
is-
just the fact of who we are as
When
people.
I look back, I'm like, it makes sense why I was the way that I was.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, explain.
But so I was also homeschooled, and I was the youngest
Of
of
7.
7, and like the older kids were a part of more groups and stuff, and I wasn't.
And the older,
And then also by the time my mom realized that was a problem, then she'd be like, okay, let me put you in groups. And then I didn't want to. And then I was trouble. And then I was
the
like,
other
I
thing,
hate this
and again,
group,
it's
blah,
no
blah.
it's
So
no
it
diss on anybody, but the other thing is a lot of her closest older siblings were sisters, and so what ended up happening was they would do everything for her.
Yes.
Not
and
to
I
be
was
mean,
always,
not to be rude. They just didn't. They didn't think like, oh, she needs to do this for herself. One of the things at the school is we take the kids to a local place and they can order something if they want enough points at the school for doing good grades and helping, whatever.
Yeah.
And a kid went and he asked his friend, he said, I'm not going to order, you have to order for me. And I said, you're not allowed to get anything unless you order for yourself.
Dang.
And he was like, okay.
I would have
And-
just not ordered.
Well, and that's the problem. Esther from a young age.
but I
and
didn't even ask for that to happen. They just did it for me. And
That's what I was saying.
fine.
That's true.
They weren't doing it
but
to be rude. They weren't doing it to be mean. They didn't do it to
Yes,
stunt your
because
growth.
I
But the
was-
fact of the matter is that it did.
I was always shyer and quieter.
And
Even
they
at home, I was
accentuated
quieter.
that
So they just
on accident.
to be nice and not
Correct.
make me uncomfortable, they
Correct.
did stuff for me.
Correct.
But they didn't realize that was going to be
But that didn't
negative
help you
later on.
grow.
Correct.
Like
And they didn't
I
realize
teach,
that, but-
even the young students that I teach, I use phrases and they end up liking them. But I say, do better than your best. I say hard things aren't difficult. These are some of my favorite phrases. And they're learning that from a young age. And if people don't get that from a young age and they get spoiled, Esther was spoiled, not in a malicious way, not in a bad way, not in an over the top way, but she never was ordering for herself. You weren't doing things for yourself. And so then you felt like once you got older,
And
you're
I
like,
was
I don't
just
know how to
like,
do these things.
I didn't have friends from the homeschool group. So if I hung out with people, it was my siblings, friends. And they're all
Right.
older.
And they're
I
all
would
older.
just sit around and listen to them talk.
Right.
So
Which stunted you
Yeah,
and negatively, and you
definitely.
weren't happy about it later. And it's no diss to Esther or the other people, but self-reflection is good. And to look back and say, why did that happen? How did it happen? And how can I keep it from happening now? Because even now with the groups that we're in and church and stuff, sometimes Esther and I find ourselves the minute it's done, stand up, walk out, get in the car, drive away. And I'm like, that's not why we're here. That's not
and that's
why
such
we're
a struggle
here.
for me because I feel like because I have close friends,
You don't
I'm
got time
like-
for anybody else.
I'm like,
Jeez.
I have friends already.
Jeez.
So I go there for the group. I listen to
Yeah.
the word. If we are in small groups and stuff, I would talk to people.
Mhm.
But I just don't feel a need for more close friends.
Okay,
but
Allie,
that's
jump in.
probably a negative thing
Jump in.
because I do
Well, we just
think,
mentioned.
I do think it's good
Friends,
to have
me.
close friends in your church community.
Yeah. No,
I
we
do think that's
mentioned
true,
stunted
yeah.
growth, siblings doing things for you. We mentioned, self-reflection on if something like that happened and how do you change it now? What do you feel? Any of that happened to you? What, like, I don't know.
Like stunted growth, I think being homeschooled probably.
All three of us.
But like mostly,
homeschooled.
yeah.
Through when? All the way through high school, right?
And then we're doing a podcast, so why?
All the way through
Why
high
are we like
all the way
this?
through high school?
All the way through high school.
Any
But
normal-
like there was that period where I said I went to college during that high school time.
Oh, yeah.
In person?
And that was in
you
person
went to college?
at 16.
Oh.
And that was really hard for me.
Why'd you do it?
Because I wanted to
I
get
like-
ahead.
Good. And I like hard things. I wasn't saying that was bad. Like,
Yeah.
I like difficult things.
No,
I like
no,
that you
no.
did that. But you did it even knowing it would be difficult?
Yes.
How long did you do it for?
I did it for when I was 16, so I did it for my second half of my sophomore year, I think.
Oh, just half a year.
And then no, I did it for the rest of my high school.
Oh, so over
year.
a year you did it. Like
Yeah.
a year and a half to,
hmm
yeah.
Like probably 2 years actually. I think
Are
I
you?
did it.
Do you look back and like that you did that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I feel like that actually
good for you.
helped because I didn't know how to handle my anxiety back then.
Mm.
So I think that like I was just like always anxious like all the time. So whenever I was put into new and scary environments, like I just didn't.
you would resound with that as well.
Yeah, I also the same. I didn't even know people didn't talk about anxiety like they do now, even
Not
just
at
a
all.
couple freaking years ago.
No, it's true. It's really true.
And I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know what social anxiety was, and I think it would have helped me a lot.
But also,
to
you
know
weren't
what
in
these
circles
things
where they
are.
were talking about it because of the
And-
homeschool. So
Yeah.
potentially you missed it.
It's true.
Potentially.
I guess, but just thinking back, I always thought like something's severely wrong with me. I shouldn't be this way.
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong with me.
You sat around and thought stuff was wrong with you and would say it to
Yeah,
yourself.
I'd be
Yeah.
like, why can't I talk to these
You
people?
too?
Why do I go
Yeah.
to groups and not talk?
Because when you have like that bad anxiety, you don't, it kind of feels like an isolating feeling. Like you think you're the only
Intriguing.
one who's going through it.
Okay. And you both felt
Um,
that individually at a younger age.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I did at least.
And then I remember
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned like some, not anxiety, what is it, stonewalling or something?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is
What is
that?
that?
And I looked up and I was like, whoa,
That's
there's
exactly
like
what I
a
do.
term and this is like a thing with other
Yeah.
people.
You're telling me
But
the first time you heard
that's just
something like that
one.
was from me?
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
one
Jeez.
phrase that you used. And I feel like if I could have heard people have anxiety, hey, you came from
Right.
homeschooling and now you're seeing people.
Right.
That's normal to be
Right.
stressful. I could have handled it a lot better, but I feel like it just got worse and worse because I'd be like, why am I like this? And then I just stress myself out even more because I'd like build up.
Yeah.
And
And
if
there-
I knew I was going out to somewhere to see a bunch of people, I'd be like, oh, you're going to freak out.
And
you're
there
not
was
gonna be able to talk.
multiple
You're gonna blah, blah,
years
blah."
of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's many years of that you felt like that. How many years
Yeah,
like did you
sure.
feel like that?
Why did I move the mic away to talk? I'm crazy.
How many years did you
She
feel
didn't want
like
anybody
that?
to hear.
She didn't want. How many years did you feel like that?
Like I was like anxious.
Like I'm the only person like this. This is a thing.
Mm.
Oh wow. Yada yada yada.
Probably started like for most of my life up until I got
Okay.
into like
But you don't remember
College
when you're 4,
area.
5, 6 years
Yeah.
old. So
I
when did you
do.
start? Oh.
The first time I experienced like being really anxious was when I was actually in first grade.
And you remember it to
I
this
do
day.
remember it to this day because it was the first time that I think I became like aware of
Well,
myself.
what happened? Tell me.
It
Because that's
wasn't-
crazy.
it was, like-
I
it
can't
wasn't a
remember when I
big
was.
deal.
I can't remember when
Like,
I was 16.
I was just, I was getting out of my car and then my mom had in kindergarten, she would park and she'd drop me off, right?
Okay.
And so I think this was the first year where she didn't have to do that. And
Okay.
so I just went through the drop off, kind of like how we do at our school where you just open up the car door and the kid gets out.
Okay.
And so that was my first time going through that. And
Okay.
in first grade, I just remember looking at the school and being like, I want to go back inside my car.
Really? And you
Yeah.
you recall that? You
I
can kind of
do,
like see
'cause-
the scenario. Like you remember. You have a memory of it.
Yeah, and I remember
Were you
this.
told that story? Sorry to interrupt you. Were you told that story by your parents, or do you personally
I
remember
personally remember
that?
this
Wow, I
because
don't have that. I
my
don't have
my
that.
mom had left. She
Wow,
drove
you
off
didn't
at that
have
point.
trauma.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're right. That trauma does often make
Mm-hmm.
you recall things better. But some people truly recall their. Do you have other memories from when you were that
Do you
young?
have good memories that you remember?
Oh, good memories that I
From
remember.
that young.
From that young.
From that young. I feel like I do, but since
No.
we're talking about the traumatizing
sure.
ones, that's like
No,
all
but
I
I
can
wasn't.
think
I
of.
wasn't meaning to go
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
specific to saying necessarily. But do you have memories from many years ago when you were
Yeah.
5, 6, 7? You can remember some of the things that went on.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I don't have. I have a good memory for other things, but I do not.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot like be like, oh yeah, I remember a few things, and most of them are traumatizing. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to throw that word
Or
around
just
super
like not
lightly.
traumatizing, but just
Negative
like big moments.
sometimes. Big moments that are negative though seem to stand
Yeah.
out more. In
It's
the
true
memory,
because
which is
those
super
are
sad.
the ones that really like shock you.
Exactly. I always was annoyed at myself because I felt like I was older. I was either 13 or 16, and that's quite a far apart. So quite a far apart.
Quite a far
Quite a
apart.
far apart. And so whichever age that it was, but I remember something had gone on and I didn't like it. Remember, and at my own party, I was like crying about something, but I was a little bit older, and
See?
I just
Crying
feel,
at your party.
and I just feel stupid about it now. Now, my parents or anyone else on the podcast right now would bring up a specific story, so I'll just tell it because they would find. I was gonna say they find it funny, not funny. I was the only. I am more. Dad would say of me, not more emotional, like sitting around crying emotional, but more. And you said it yourself, like you said emotionally mature. You said a second ago when you had met me, I was 16, 17. Just more like. Dad would always say, why can't I think of the word? I keep repeating myself because I can't think of the word. intuition, where usually you
I knew it. I knew it was an I. I was trying to get there.
Usually that word would be more so used
inquisitive.
for women, like a woman's intuition and stuff. And Dad would comment on stuff like that for me, never in a negative way, but he was like, you seem to really understand people. And he would kind of make a joke out of it. He's like, you even understand like women, like they like you, bro. Anyway, Dad would say,
That's wild. He definitely did not say that.
he did say stuff like that. He definitely did. Go ahead, ask him.
Like
him.
you.
No, not that exact phrase. You guys heard what I said.
Boy,
don't make it something that
definitely
I
never
don't
tell you that.
You don't know Dad very well. So anyway, I was going to tell a story. So Dad would take, you know the story. Allie doesn't know the story, so she'll like the story.
I was going to say the people on the podcast minus me.
Allie will like the story. So, no, I haven't told the story on the podcast.
All right.
No, I have not.
Get to it.
Anyway, Dad would take each kid out for their birthday for breakfast on the day of their birthday. Birthday breakfast with Dad. It was extremely special.
Yeah.
Always looked forward to for the whole year. Super special. Everybody loved it. Super cool. I gotta try and tell it quick because there's so many details to the story. So we would also go to my grandfather's office a bunch, and he would bring lunch because we were homeschooled. So sometimes we'd go there and do math or something. We'd pick a subject to do, and we'd go drive to the office. We would do it. And Grandpa brought Taco Bell, and in the Taco Bell at the time, they were still doing like the toys, like McDonald's does. They were doing like Happy
Oh my gosh,
Meals.
I loved those. I got a scary meal one time. Not a scary meal, a scary toy.
And that's so funny because that's exactly what I'm about to talk about.
Really?
So it was Halloween because my birthday's November.
Okay, yeah.
And Grandpa got toys for people, but only some came with toys. And multiple of us did. It wasn't just not me, but multiple of us didn't get a toy. But my sister did, I think. And it was this in a gravestone. The person would like sit out of this. It was a Halloween little toy. It was like Dracula or a werewolf. It was like kind of it's cheesy, but I was very little. Okay. And so anyway, my birthday breakfast rolls around and I told Dad I wanted to go to Taco Bell. And he was like, are you sure? I didn't even like Taco Bell. Okay. He's like, are you sure you want to go to Taco Bell? And I'm like, yeah, I really want to go to Taco Bell because of this toy. And he was like,
but you didn't even tell him it was because of the
no,
toy,
I kind of told him. I kind of told him. And he was being nice about it. I mean, I could cry about it right this second. He was being nice about it. He was not being mean or rude. This story is not, because I want to be very clear, and I always told Dad this many times. I never felt bad about how Dad treated me during it. Because then he goes, did I make you feel sad? I was like, no, you did not. I was just mad at myself. We went to Taco Bell. I asked to get this toy. I got the toy and it was broken. It came broken. We didn't get another one. I cried about that for probably 10 years. Not kidding. And I'm talking much older. I'm talking I was 16, 17, 18 in the bathroom crying because I want everybody to see me crying. And I came out of the bathroom and I was you could tell I had been crying. And Mom and Dad were like, what is wrong? And for the first time, and we're talking over 5 years, 5, 6, 7 years, I told them that story, cried about it again. And it's the first time they ever heard about it. And they were like, you're thinking about this still?
Yeah.
And it is that drastic to me. And then I told a story about it. Other people didn't know either. And I told a story about it like when I turned like 20, 21. And I cried telling the story while everyone was there. So like that type of stuff sticks with you. And I'm not sad about it now. I'm not like...
I'm like, is he gonna start crying? Right?
No, I totally could. I totally could.
I feel that way sometimes.
Allie cries about stuff easy. Allie cries about stuff easy.
I am a crier.
I showed Allie, what did I
He showed me
what did I show you?
like a hippo.
Hippo eating its kid.
Eating
on
its
accident.
baby.
It was on accident though. Not that I showed her on accident. The hippo ate its kid on accident.
But like,
they didn't eat it.
They
didn't eat it. They bit into it on accident.
An alligator who was attacking the baby, and they accidentally bit the baby, and it.
You're telling me that you're not supposed to cry when you hear.
I'm not saying you're not supposed to cry, but that's so unattached from you as a person.
But as a person, I feel attached.
Okay, so here we go. Now a great piece of the podcast. When was the last time you cried, Allie?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, she was happy about that. She was happy to explain.
I cried. My socks are showing again.
They are showing, and I knew you were going to say that because I can see it. When was the last time you cried?
And they have hearts.
Pull them up higher. Come on, let them.
Yeah.
there you go.
Can all see my little.
Oh no, my mic's clipping. I'm going to turn it down. I'm getting louder as we go. There we go. Go ahead.
What
was the last time you cried?
There you go.
Ooh, definitely this week. I think.
That's so funny to me.
Because it was today, Saturday. Oh, Saturday. Heck yeah, I've cried. I've cried at least like twice.
This week or today?
This week.
Oh, okay.
Like today?
Oh, today I did cry but it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so sad. It was like my eyes were so irritated.
Oh, that's not. That's not correct.
But then because my eyes were so irritated, I did start crying out of frustration. So it was kind of like a cry.
So if you're willing to share, what was the last reason why were you crying?
Like
or if you don't want to talk about the most recent, like go back, whatever. I don't want to put you on the spot if it's uncomfortable.
I feel like the most
We've
significant.
talked about this before off podcast. Okay, I'm not just totally blowing her out of the water with
the
this
most
crazy
significant
question.
one this week was kind of like
Personal.
It is a little bit personal, only
Well, you don't have to share
but
that.
it's not like personal because it's been so many years.
Well, I'm not for it. You can share it if you want. I'm not, but I'm also not making you share
It was just because like I had a dream
Okay.
about my grandpa actually,
Okay.
and I was just telling my mom about the dream because he had passed away a few years ago. And
Semi-recent, a few years ago.
No, it wasn't. I think it was like 18 or
2018, you're saying?
No, I think I was 18.
Oh, you were 18. Oh, so 4 years ago. Okay.
Yeah,
A little ways.
like 18
In
or
our lifetime,
18
4 years
or
is quite long.
17, I can't remember, but
So a ways
somewhere around that age. And so, but we were watching The Chosen. Actually,
In your dream?
No. This is so. Let me back up. This is not my dream.
Okay. This is
Dream.
a real event. This is a real event that you're telling us
Yes,
about.
this is a real event.
Okay.
So me and my mom have been watching The Chosen, and she
Great
had
show.
like brought up to me that she feels like the guy who plays Jesus, that he kind of looks like my grandpa.
Her dad?
Yeah,
Okay.
her dad.
Okay.
And so I was like looking at him, and I was like, you know what? Like she has a point. Like minus because my grandpa's Mexican.
Okay.
So minus his Mexican genes, like he does like the facial hair. Like I've seen photos of him when he was
Do
younger.
you have long hair?
He did because he was like in the 70s, you know, so they
Okay,
had like that
okay.
longer hair, and so he did kind of look
Interesting.
like him. And so I had a dream about my grandpa, but when he
Recently. Was that this week?
I had two dreams about him. So
This
the
week?
one was previous, like maybe not this week, but the week before.
Okay.
And then
recent though.
and that was like the first time, like I'd never dreamed of him before, and
Of
that
your
was the
grandpa?
first time I dreamed of him, and I was like, oh my gosh, like you're so real, like you're right in front of me.
Interesting.
And I woke up and I was like, this is weird, like because
No,
you
that is
know,
weird.
like he's, to be blunt, he is dead now.
Right, he's passed.
So,
Right.
And I
But you
never
knew
knew
him 'cause he-
him at that age. I did know him.
Oh, okay. So wait a second. You saw The Chosen. Your mom said kind of looks like him.
Yeah.
Later on, you have a dream, and you dreamed of him younger.
Yes, I dreamed of him.
But you
when he
knew
was
in the dream that it was your grandpa.
I knew in the dream that it was my grandpa. He didn't know me though. So
Okay,
he,
intriguing.
and the way I interpret that is because like I didn't know
Wouldn't
him
have
at
known
that
you
age.
at that
He wouldn't
age.
have known me at that
Intriguing.
age. But he was walking into my house and he was like, "Oh, I'm looking for Anna,"
Who's
talking
that?
about my mom.
Oh, okay. Right.
And
Sorry.
so I was like, "Oh, like that's so sweet." And then
And in the dream, were you your age now?
yeah.
Okay.
So it was like
So it's
I
almost like
have
you were in the
that-
past in the dream.
Yeah, like I
Okay.
was in the past, you know. And so that was like
Dreams are crazy.
kind of a sweet moment. So I think when I woke up, I was more so like, oh, like
Oh, you weren't crying out of sadness.
I wasn't crying out of sadness. I
Oh,
was more so
How
like
sweet. What a great ending to
like
this show.
that was because you know like reality is just so much different than dreams. So it was just
100%.
kind
Dreams
of
are
sweeter, you know.
crazy.
Yeah.
Esther,
but
tell us.
then-
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh no, I dreamed of him again this week.
And
And
did you
so
cry?
that one, I didn't cry. I was
Okay.
telling my mom that I hadn't told her that I had dreamed of him.
The first time,
The first time
Second
or
time
the
you did.
second time.
but not.
But I
haven't.
had told her this week. I was like, oh, actually, like I
Intriguing.
did have a dream about like grandpa,
I'm not
like you
sitting on
know.
this couch very well. I feel like I'm like, meh.
And then when I was telling her, like I think
She cried.
I got a little emotional,
Okay.
and so we were both kind of like crying. I would
No,
say
that's
maybe.
cool. No, that's kind of
Yeah.
sweet though.
It is kind of
It has paused. The
Why?
video, I don't know. It seems like the audio is still recording. It definitely did extremely recently because I've been checking it all the time. so
Oh,
let me
I
see.
see
Okay.
the video.
Yeah. It looks like
I
the
was
phone
really
has paused. No, we're
confused.
good. Everything we've been recording has
All
been being
right.
recorded.
Well,
but
I have hers.
yeah, that's intriguing that you can still disconnect. Let me click pause and then
Intriguing.
resume. Tell me, are you guys moving now?
You know what? Since
You're
we're
still
not
not?
moving,
Oh, that's sad.
I
I
want
wonder
like
what's going on.
a snack.
You want a snack?
Yeah.
And it's still recording. So
Or like you know, I'm.
well, we're back now.
Did
So
I
I hope
finish my sparkling
I would rather.
water?
I hope that I actually didn't have to cut it. I'm fine if
not.
it paused for a second and the audio is still there.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to edit this. The podcast.
Oh, I
like-
know you don't.
She was so funny. She was like, "Aren't you gonna edit it?" And the pod. you don't
Because I'm
really-
gonna say something stupid.
But you have
and
it. You
everyone's-
have it. Here's that
I've been
anxiety
so
creeping.
intelligent.
You've been so
hard.
intelligent.
I've been so intelligent right now. It's
so
because I'm
Esther-
controlling myself.
Esther, we'll be done here in a second because it's already. It's an hour and 20 minutes.
It's about time to
so-
feed the
Yeah.
girls.
I know, yeah, they definitely.
I know,
eat.
it's
So
just saying you want a
Esther,
snack.
we've talked about so many things, so we don't have to try to put a bow on it and wrap it up. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying, in the train of thought we're in right now, tell us a dream that you've had, because you have a lot of dreams. You talk about them.
She does.
You seem to
I will
like.
not tell you a dream, but I will tell you something
won't
else
tell
that I
any
was
dream.
thinking.
I
No
have
dreams?
because I have so many and they're so crazy and vivid, and
You'd rather have that be a
can't.
whole podcast.
it'll take me a second to think about one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Go ahead, give us whatever else you're talking about.
let me just say what I'm thinking first, and then I'll tell you about a dream that I remember from when I was very young.
Okay.
A while ago when we were talking about crying, the three of us, we were like, have you ever cried of happiness though? And I think I said no, but
You did say
now
no.
a couple days later, so weeks ago from now, I remember that we both cried when we did our vows. So we have cried out of happiness.
I don't remember
Unless
that.
he was being really sad.
I don't think tears fell from your eyes,
This is
which
true.
you
Tears
don't
do
generally
not
consider
often-
crying, but you like got choked up. And I
He
think
gets
I
a little blinky.
cried.
Yeah.
all the
Usually I
way,
don't
so.
cry like tears.
I can cry like tears.
I'm sure
Tears,
you can.
tears.
We cry like that basketball player where it was like,
Oh,
that video.
not
Or was
basketball,
it
it's football.
football? Yeah.
Boom, and the tears just come out like a
Yeah.
waterfall. All right, Esther, the
Me
dream
and
from when
Allie
you
on
were
the
a
remix.
kid.
Okay, so I was inside the house and I was looking out the glass door to the backyard. And behind our backyard is a huge, what is that thing called? The water?
Oh, they have
One
like
of
a
the
water
water
basin.
collection, like,
They have like a water
places where
basin,
there's
not
that big thing.
the county. It's huge.
Yeah, so it's a huge field back there.
The city
So I
owns
was
it.
looking out the window
Their backyard's quite
all the way
intriguing.
back there. I saw a black bear running toward the house.
Okay.
And something that reoccurs in my dreams all the time is something coming to get me. And there's a door, and I keep closing the door, and
And
it
it's
keeps
open.
opening, or it like
That's
won't
terrible.
line up correctly, so it won't close all the way.
Intriguing.
So this bear's running at me, getting closer and closer, and I'm trying to slide this door shut, and it won't slide all the way. And then I think I got it right before, which
That's
reminds me of
good.
another one where there was
Whoa, I said
was-
tell us one dream. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Whoa,
Short.
whoa. Don't cut her off.
Whoa, go ahead.
Let her finish.
Go ahead,
which
go ahead.
was also at my
You said you
parents'
were
house,
hungry.
but it was the
I am.
front
We should get
door
in and
this
out.
time, and there was a guy standing across the street with a pumpkin head,
Whoa.
and I'd close the door,
It's giving.
latch it, it'd swing back open, and every
Nightmare
time,
Before Christmas.
Yeah,
every time it opened again, he'd be closer. But I'd never see him walking, but every time I
Right,
closed
right,
it,
right.
it would open, and then it'd be closer.
I
I have a lot of scary dreams.
lately I've had
I
much
would just
anymore.
never go to sleep again, personally.
lately I've had. You haven't had a dream that's scary like that you can recall?
Oh, no. I have.
Oh, okay, but
I
you
just-
so
I
you haven't
used
slept
to,
since then.
I used
No,
to like
Yeah.
Okay.
super often,
I'm
and now
So
it's
definitely
rare.
an
I
insomniac.
for a very very long time, many years, Esther would comment on dreams, and I'm like, I would say I don't dream. I don't have
You don't
have them.
dream.
I've had them, but during this
Yeah.
time of multiple years, I would say, wow, I don't dream. I go to sleep and I wake up. It just feels pretty much instant. For the last couple months, I feel like I'm just dreaming the whole time, like hours and hours long of dreams. And if I wrote them down, which I really honestly should, they're quite interesting, quite cool. Like they're not crazy, like completely unattached. They feel like there's a story, there's something going on, and they last for what feels like a long time. Obviously, it's not. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know. I was reading this cool thing about people studying dreams, and they still don't understand why we have them. Like, there's not really a good it's true, but they can't really say why. Anyway, last night I actually recall it. It was very Renaissance fantasy.
That sounds
nights.
amazing.
It was actually amazing.
Yeah. I would love
I
that.
was going through these towns, and I was going into like back rooms where people,
Taverns.
yeah, exactly, where like
Yeah.
the wizards were meeting and
Like
stuff,
Lord
and I
of
was
the
like one of them.
Rings-esque
Exactly,
cobblestone
and that was
paths.
amazing. And there's more details to it that I could remember, but I should write them down, because when you wake up, you remember them for about 30 seconds, and if you don't get into speed writing them down, they're gone. And then we'll end with this. Like I said, it's been an hour, 20 minutes. There was one dream similar
Make
to
it
what
an hour and
Esther's
30.
saying. Yeah. There was one thing that similar to what Esther was saying that I have recalled forever and had it multiple times at my parents' house, my childhood home. And Mom says the dinner's ready and she's making salad specifically. I just remember it that well. She's making salad on the counter. She says, "Go tell Justin and Dad, Justin, my older brother, and Dad." And we just had this new addition made onto the house where it was like this kind of small, skinny, long area where it was supposed to be like this like mud room. It had a deep basin sink. It had the washer, the dryer. So if you went out there, you would open the garage door to inside the house, and then there was another door that led outside from the garage. And I open up the garage door to the house, and the other door's already open. And we have all these, they're not apple trees, but they have a weird fruit on them. I forget. You don't eat it though. The dogs would already eat it. They weren't supposed to. Huh?
Plum?
No, it's weird.
Decorative plum.
Pomegranate.
There's a decorative
No, we have
something where
pomegranate.
they have fruit, but
So
you're not
anyway,
allowed to eat them.
It was always they were tall, but they grew very low, and it was very dark
May
over
I
there.
interrupt you for a
No,
moment
because
because I
I'm-
missed the intro? Is this a dream or is this
It's a
real
dream. It's
life?
a dream. Oh, I should have said it was real life and then finish it.
This
I
is
open it up,
real
and
life.
in the dark, all these eyes light up. These green wolf eyes.
We should have just let you finish.
Yeah.
We could have figured that one out.
These green wolf eyes light up, and they all surround me and eat me.
I don't know why
And,
that reminds me of
period.
Hoodwinked.
Hoodwinked.
Yes.
Sorry. They all surround me and they eat me. And Justin and Dad, I guess, were already eaten because I never find them.
Nice.
And I've also had dreams
Eat you.
All the wolves eat me.
Like chomp.
Yeah,
Like,
but it ends.
Are you?
I'm
okay,
being
yeah.
attacked
Yeah,
physically
yeah.
and bitten, but then it ends. I
Can
wake
you,
up.
can you guys
Yeah,
like
that always
feel like when you're getting
No,
attacked
you
in your
can't
dreams? Because I
feel it.
do.
Let
No,
me
you
tell
can't. Come on.
you,
Wait,
I had a
wait.
dream. Let me real quick.
it's not
where
like
a
a
guy
feel.
stabbed me with scissors in my
Yes.
hand, and I woke up and there
Oh.
was such a pain in my hand, and I was like, I'm dying.
Yes, I have had some where it's not that you actually felt it in the dream. It's
Yeah.
that the dream
it's that you
attaches
had
to
a
your
pain,
feelings.
and then it went
Yes.
into the dream. And then
Yes, that has happened.
Anyways,
Yeah.
The other dreams that I've had is I get that weird thing, and it's weird. You'll feel things yourself, and then you won't talk about it, so you don't know if anyone else feels it. So I don't know. I've never told Allie. You've already told you about it. Maybe Allie.
Nice.
Everything's like changing size. So my hands will feel really tiny or
Yeah.
huge, and it's usually attached to some sort of anxiety thing, or textures, really weird textures. So if I've had like weird texture dreams, and everything is like I'm tiny. Everything's gigantic, or I'm huge. Everything's really small, and I'm like half awake, half asleep. It's really, really bad. Have you ever had that where things feel weird sizes?
I feel like, there's
It's hard to describe it.
How do you say that word? Distortion?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like it's so weird, and it's
I
called
had a
something I
weird
found
texture
out.
dream that I used to get that same dream every time I was sick, which was very.
Yes, we've talked
terrible.
about that. And like people say, you have to try to get a hold of something if it's getting so, because it has a couple times gotten so weird that I'm like, I get like dizzy. And then mom said she got that, and that was so weird. I didn't know how to describe it, and then I did one time. She was like, "Oh yeah, I get that." And anyway, they say to like, you got to get a hold of something that you really know the size of, so people will just grab their phone, which is annoying to me. But you know the size of that very well because it's something that you hold all the time.
Well, I mean, mine's kind of big for my hands. Not gonna lie.
That's true.
But if it's not big in your hand, then you know that your hand's
Put your
actually
thumb up, Allie.
larger.
Why do you want to see my thumbs,
Put your thumb up.
George?
Well, you just commented on small hands. Allie has these very short thumbs. It's amazing. Especially the
That's so
top half,
stupid.
right? You said it's called something. You said it's actually a thing.
Yeah,
What is
I'd
it?
look it up. I forget. It's like
Okay.
there's like a term for it. But
yeah.
it's called
The top segment is shorter.
it's like a shortening of the thumb is what they call
Oh,
it.
literally?
And most
You don't have to
people,
look that up. That sounds right.
Yeah.
I just-
But like I mean like there's a word for
Oh, there's like a
it.
scientific.
Yes, because it's like an actual like your thumb just is
Literally shorter.
is
That's intriguing.
literally
I mean,
shorter.
I've definitely seen that before. I said In and Out. She said she was hungry. I said In and Out.
In and Out, guys.
But I don't think Esther's not always
She's
sold.
never craving In and Out, and I'm always craving animal style fries. And this-
She
Their
loves that
fries
part.
slap, but I never want to go to In-N-Out because I don't like their burgers that
The
much. They make me
In-N-Out-
feel
Yeah.
sick.
The In and Out
Sorry, that's
thing that
gonna
went
sound so
viral
weird when you hear that.
online, where the buns are onions.
the buns.
Are onions. I get that all the time now. I love it because it's good. It's good for diet. You can basically
Yeah.
eat as much of that as you want. All
That
right.
sounds sickening right now.
It's
though.
so good. We will sign off now. Thank you for
Yoink.
watching, and welcome and goodbye
I just
to
realized I
Allie.
need to look up.
And
Yes, you'll
we'll-
never see me
we'll have-
again.
No. We'll have Allie on again.
Just